You are now listening to FNB Radio.
And welcome to F&B Radio. My name is Lindsay Collins, and I am your host. You know when you feel like your life's going down the drain, but then it doesn't? That's a good feeling. And that's how I'm feeling on this Friday. I woke up, and this has nothing to do with food, even though this show is only promised to be loosely about food and mostly about whatever I want, down to the fact that when I look at it in iTunes, it's like shows you might also like, and none of them are about food. It's always just someone else talking. Usually a comedian, which makes me feel good because I'm definitely trying to jest, if you will, on this show. But yeah, the shows that this show would be like are never about food. So it always makes me question whether I can even call myself F&B Radio anymore, or if I have to turn myself into a symbol, like the artist formerly known as Prince. But I'm going to take a quick aside just to say, A1 sauce is delicious. I've had too much caffeine. I'm never going to get through this. I can't do these shows in the morning. But A1, this morning, we woke up and we got an email. Jeremy has his art for sale on his website. So anyone can go on there and buy stuff at any time. But one of my favorite feelings is to wake up and you're like checking your email, and you see all the bullshit. And then there's just one that's like low stock, depleted. Someone sold or bought a painting. Wow. I'm going to get my words together. This is a promise to you, but for right now, it is what it is. Like that t-shirt that Mari promised she would buy me, but she never did. Anyway, someone bought a painting. That's someone, I don't want to like say her name because I don't know that she wants it out there, but I know she listens to the show. And she's had her eye on this painting for a long time. And if you can't see it for yourself, I want to paint the picture of what it is like to be someone who is an artist or a small business owner or has any sort of entrepreneurial bone in their body and is trying to survive based on their business. Just the sheer delight, the ecstasy that comes over them when someone places an order or purchases a painting or hires them for a job. It's honestly enough to make me get emotional first thing in the morning. It's the best way to start the day. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank everyone out there that's ever supported any artist. It doesn't have to be me or Jeremy or anybody that does anything at all. But I think that part gets missed, especially when you're talking about an online purchase, because the recipient of the purchase doesn't get to see the artist's face or the entrepreneur's face, or I don't know. It's just a part of the process that gets lost. When you're in restaurants, you drop the food, you immediately know if someone's into it or not. You can see their face just either melt. Some people cry. Some people make a face because they don't like it. You can tell, and you get to see that satisfaction. And then you're the eyes and ears for the chef. But if you're an artist or someone else whose work is being purchased online or whose services are being procured online, which a lot of people are now, there's so many creators out there that are selling their work online. And that's one of the only good things about the internet, to be honest. It's a real big pile of shit otherwise. But I wanted to highlight that side of it just to encourage anyone out there, if you're an artist or an entrepreneur or someone that's trying to make it work, like just hang on, keep going, because somewhere out there, your people are looking for you. And when they do make that purchase or hire you for that job, damn, it feels good. So that's one of the reasons that my day started out so great. But in general, I always feel like I'm on here pretending like I'm some sort of star expert in terms of the cosmos, in terms of your astrological sign. But Mercury has been in retrograde, and whether you want to put stock in that or not, shit has been hard. I don't know what's going on. If you don't believe in that, that's fine. But things have been tough just for everybody that I know right now that I've been talking to personally. I'm like, man, it's been hard. And I just felt like I kept getting knocked down. I had sick kids. I had unexpected financial stuff. Someone smashed into our fucking car and we only have one car. Like, just, I don't want to get bogged down in the sad parts because I'm saying that today it feels like the weight has been lifted, like the heaviness, the uncertainty, the negativity, it's all gone. I feel like $1,000,000. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for listening to this show that, again, is loosely about food and mostly about something else. It's a really fun day. I threw up, period, end of story. Wow, grammar's important. I threw up a Instagram reel, which I haven't done in a while because sometimes me and Instagram, we're in an abusive relationship and I don't know who's abusing who. It feels like I abuse Instagram in terms of like a substance, like I'm on it too much. But it feels like Instagram also abuses me. So I haven't felt inspired. I haven't felt like doing anything in terms of content. And then I finally was like, I make breakfast burritos for my family like 6 times a week. That's not true, but like 2 times a week because they're so easy. They're so delicious. It makes everyone happy except for Luca, who is a stark pescatarian, no egg. So he doesn't eat any animal products except for fish, if that makes sense. If there's a better way to say that, let me know. I think he's a pescatarian, no ovo, no lacto. What's the chit? If you were putting in his dietary restrictions in a restaurant, reservation system, what would his chit say? I don't know. He eats fish. He doesn't eat anything else that's an animal. In fact, he's clear as day when he'll be like, what is this made of? What did this come from? Show me on your body what part of the animal this is, and then he'll kindly reject it. And he doesn't eat eggs. So he's not in the breakfast burrito circle, but Roman is up in there, my son, my youngest son, and then Julian also. So it hits 4 out of 5, which feels like a win. So breakfast burritos, I put those in a reel and threw it on the internet. And it felt, I don't know, I just feel like I'm back. I feel better. I feel like I've seen my friends shaking off the cobwebs and coming out of this kind of weird period that everyone was in. And it's inspiring and it's exciting. On my calendar, there's just so many fun things coming up that people are out there putting themselves out there and working on their craft. And let me just say, it's not easy. It's a whole lot easier to not try to do anything. So I'm feeling my Friday oats. I feel full of myself. I feel ready to take on the weekend. And I have a few things that I'm going to make this weekend. One of them is like a 40 clove garlic chicken that my mom made me when I was home for a visit a few weekends ago for Julian's birthday. Yeah. And she made it, and I've talked about it before, but my mom is an absolute OG cook. But now that she's older, she cooks less because my little sister lives there. And she kind of has taken over a lot of the cooking. But my mom dusted it off, and she pulled out this garlic chicken. I think it's actually Alton Brown recipe. If you want to like Google it, it's literally just a bunch of chicken and a bunch of garlic, and you sear it and cover it in olive oil and just braise it until it's heaven. So I'm probably going to make that. I saw a recipe on Bon Appetit that I'm just dying to try because for whatever reason, I'm feeling the spooky season vibes more than ever, which is saying a lot because I already feel them. You know, I love all things cozy. But I'm going to make a pumpkin coffee cake that looks divine. Coffee cake, crumb cake, whatever you want to call it. Easily one of my favorite pastries or sweet things to eat. And this one incorporates pumpkin into the cake part and then some spiced cloves and other stuff into the crumble. So that's on my docket, probably for a Sunday morning situation. And what else? That's only 2 things. Oh, Baba's on Canon tomorrow, Saturday. This just came across my radar, and this is not a plug. They didn't ask me to talk about this, but this is just something that I want to do. They're serving up crepes, sweet and savory, hot off the griddle or whatever they cook them in. I think it's, I don't know. I was going to say stainless, but then I'm like, the word I'm looking for is nonstick. I don't know. I've never made a crepe, if I'm totally honest. I made a pancake, made many a pancake, never made a crepe. So maybe I'll go A, figure out how to make them, and B, hang out with all the sweet people at Baba's, because God, they have a good time. But yeah, in the meantime, thanks so much for all the feedback regarding my last episode. I sat on and was like just really scared to even publish that because I didn't want it to come off like I was being like, restaurants are the worst or whatever. And that's not how it was received. So many of you reached out and had really nice things to say. And we're also just like, yeah, me too. And it just reminds me that whether we want to admit it or not, we as a people are all connected and we share similar feelings. And it's kind of wild when you think about it. But yeah, thanks for everyone that if you hated it, you didn't bother reaching out to tell me you hated it. And that, that helps me keep going. It helps me not fall apart. But yeah, I hope your weekend plans are exactly what you want them to be. I was talking to someone and they were like, oh yeah, I'm going to go in and work on Saturday. And I was like, no. Please don't work on Saturday unless if that's your usual thing. That's like not your weekend. Please don't work on your weekend. That sounds terrible. I'm going to do a whole lot of nothing. I've been getting better about just taking a personal day when I need one. I said that to Jeremy and he laughed because it's just comical, I guess, that, I always work from home and it always kind of looks like I'm doing nothing even though I'm working all the time. And I was just laying in bed way past when I should have been in bed. And I was like, I'm taking a personal day. He laughed at me and moved on with his life. But I don't know. I just find that in those rough times, like the ones that I was having recently, where it just felt like the fucking world was falling apart, it still kind of does if I'm looking at the world view. But I'm saying just from my little world, and my little world was falling apart. And now it's not. And boy, what a difference a day makes. My mom always says that. And I used to get mad when she would say that because I would be like, yeah, but today is the day that I'm having. So who cares, what tomorrow might bring? I'm talking about right now. Isn't that being present? Just like right now sucks. And she was, in her wisdom, I see that she means you never know what tomorrow can bring. And I'm feeling that more than ever. So I'm going to try to keep it light. Not be so serious, not feed into the doom and gloom, because when you do feed into the doom and gloom, it kind of just more of it shows up. And I certainly don't want that for me or you or anyone else. But yeah, we've got some fun. We're trying to nail down Halloween costumes. I always wait till the last minute and then make them a homemade costume, which I'm sure they'll be in therapy about, many years from now. They'll be like, my mom always made me these weird, not well executed costumes. But I looked in the store. I was in Target today and I looked at I was like, a chicken. The only the only costume I found that looked cute was a chicken, and it was for Roman size. And I was like, Rome, do you want to be a chicken for Halloween? And it was a hard no. He was like, no, I'm going to be a werewolf. So chicken, I don't think so. And I don't know if I'm going to dress up. I usually try to avoid that, but it feels celebratory and feels like, in the spirit of the spooky season that I will. And on that note, I don't know how many of my listeners are in the Williston, South Carolina area, or Aiken or Barnwell or anywhere like that. But my little sister, she's a grown up. So when I say little sister, it makes her sound like she's a toddler, but she's actually a grown up, and she's amazing. And she's been making these macaroons since her and her husband got married, and they just kind of on a whim decided to try to make macaroons, which are really hard. I've never done it successfully. I tried one time and they looked like, I don't know, they were just disgusting. Like they didn't rise. They looked like little coiled up, like some sort of fossil. Like they just never could, they just didn't work out. But Madeline and her husband, the first time they tried to make them, like they were pretty good. And then they've been perfecting them over the last 10 years that they've been together. And they did this fun little market and started selling them. And now they're doing another Halloween drop. So if you live in that area, I put it on my Facebook, but you can check it out and place an order because they're seriously like some of the best ones I've had. I've eaten macaroons in New York City and everywhere I go, I'm like, if they have a proper bakery that's putting out a macaroon, I'm like, I will always try it because it's just the fanciest cookie in the whole wide world. And she's got these really, I think the flavor is candy corn. I hope I'm not spoiling anything. But if you live in that area, place an order because it's, God, what a treat. Who wants candy when you could have a sleeve of macaroons and just sit in the corner by yourself while your kids are counting their Reese's? Hit her up. She's amazing. I hope they're going to get like a full on Instagram and stuff soon. But for right now, I think you can find them on Facebook, and it's Madeline Land, MADELAINELAND, Land. And she'll have all the info for the Halloween drop and how you can place your order. But you know I love a small business, especially if it's around something edible. And so, yeah, go support her. Support yourself with a delicious cookie. And yeah, treat yourself. Don't trick yourself. You know? What else? In my excellent day that I'm having, I'm actually kind of running low on time. So the boys had to go to the library. They got out of the house so I could do my recording. And this might be all you get. It's a shorty, but a sweetie. And wherever you are, I hope your life, if it was going down the drain, I hope it's coming up out of the drain, you know? Not in the way that like my shower was a couple weeks ago with what looked like fecal matter. That was part of this. That was part of the rough times. I'm not going to go into all of it though. Remember I said I was going to quit talking about the rough times? But I hope your life is just anywhere but in the drain. And I hope you're making something fun this weekend. I hope it's cozy. I hope you're taking it easy and enjoying this beautiful weather and everyone's seemingly favorite season. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow at Baba's for crepes. Sorry, crepes. 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 I think I got it. One of those I got it. So I'll just leave them all in. And then whatever the correct one is, you can just be like, oh, there, she got it. She's French. You're French. I love you. I'll see you next week. Hey, rate and review the show. It's something I ask you to do all the time. It doesn't cost any money. Thank you so much to everyone who's rated the show before, but it really helps keep, keep the show growing in a healthy way. And I love you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye, 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 bye.